if these picks don't get banned, you can expect them to be picked up, especially since Grace is now banned from the side of Grace. It doesn't really, or from the side of Mousesports, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But if they're trying to go for the Lyra, removing the other sustained captain is a good strategy, but G2 answers.
And it makes sense for G2 to ban away the Lyra because we know they're okay with giving a Baron over to their opponents. They would have been fine going for a Celeste, even though they lost against it. It was a game that they should have won, so they wouldn't have minded if Mousesports had gone for the Baron. Instead, it is going to be that Arden, and so now G2 need to decide, do they want the Baron themselves? It can be a difficult pick into the Rhyme because of the fortified health, though.
Honestly, one thing I don't think we've mentioned about this Grace ban as well is you're taking it away from G2 alongside a Blackfeather. Grace and Blackfeather can be such a devastating combo because you have that support no matter how deep into the fight he goes.
Indeed. I mean, at this point, the options for G2 as captain heroes are Lance, Finn, and Churn Walker. I'm really hoping to see it just because I want to see how it works out in Europe. They did pick up Finn in the first game, however, with Celeste. Oh, Catherine, indeed.
There we go, Catherine and Baron. Very strong composition coming out from G2 here, it has to be said. But Mousesports, they're looking pretty good right now as well. We'll see how they want to finish this one out. Obviously, Vox taken off the table. Kestrel would be available, though.
Yeah, Kestrel's available, but they're going to go for an Idris. This is so risky. A weapon Idris, most likely, into a Catherine is a death sentence.
I love weapon power Idris into Baron. You can capitalize.
Into Baron, it's great. Into Catherine, it's terrible.
I mean, all you need to do is pick up one reflex block, and that's all the CC she can throw at you. It's just one stun. And the reason why Black or Idris is good into Baron is because you get a power spike before him with your first Sora Blade. You can use your Chakram to try and bully him, and then you can also close the gap very easily and stick onto him when you use your ultimate. When he jumps away, watch out for that. When Baron is going to use his jump jet, Idris is going to try to use his ultimate to stick to him and then finish the kill afterwards.
All right, so make sure that you're getting the effectiveness from his jump jet as well. I'm excited to see that matchup in the lane. I'm also curious to see who that matchup is going to be between. Whether it is Leon that goes on that Idris, we'll have to see. How are we expecting this early game to go out very quickly, guys?
The early game is going to be very explosive and very aggressive for both teams.
All right, we'll see if that's going to be the case. It's time to get on into this game. Hashtag Vainglory8. Let us know who is going to take this last game of the semi-final. And get in touch on Twitter. But it's time to pass it to our casters. Once again, it's Scoundrel and Medic.
And every time he puts your name first, Scoundrel, I feel slightly let down by Munch. He and I, we share the first letter of our names. You know, Medic, Munch, it could be a great duo, but no, he's all like, oh, it's Scoundrel and Medic. It's Scoundrel and whoever else. I think, you know, he actually has a secret crush on you, man.
I don't think it's secret.
Okay. Has he taken the old position of Sona? Used to be the Sona Scoundrel. Anyway, let's get on into the game because it's G2 versus Mouse, and it's the final game of this best of three, fighting for a position against SK Gaming in the finals. And Tasty Bacon tells me it's going to be explosive, and it looks like just that as the Elder Treant goes over to Mouse to start us off.
Yeah, and you can see G2 in no position to want to fight this early Elder Treant. You know, against the Rhyme early on, it's very difficult to fight him, especially when you've got no level 2 spike for Dark Potato. You really want that execute if you're even looking for Jewel as a Blackfeather, and Hundor as well. Not exactly known for early game prowess on this Baron. So they very, I think, aptly avoid the fight there at the Elder Treant, and Mouse also don't try to look for it either. They know that the G2 are very wary and are just going to back off. So this is going to be an interesting game because as the sort of desk was discussing, Leon is on Weapon Power Blackfeather. Now, obviously, we were assuming it's Weapon Power Blackfeather. It could still be CP Blackfeather, and we have seen some double CP compositions run. But it's bad into Catherine specifically because it's very easy to lock him down with the stun, but it's very good into Baron because obviously he likes to reposition with that jump jet, so you can just stick to him with your ultimate and finish the job afterwards. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this plays out as I'm the Doom secures another Elder Treant in mid here.
Keanu, however, gets a stack on his heroic perk, so he'll be very happy with that as well. Hunter and Leon trading in the lane, as you say, is a weapon power Idris, it appears. Has started off with that Book of Eulogies, so a little bit more sustain into lane, but Hundor has his classic Baron in the lane, and you got Dark Potato on the CP Blackfeather, something we've yet to see lose throughout this week. So it seems to me like G2 got all of the power picks that they were expecting, and Mouse have tried to answer that with this weapon power Idris.
Yeah, for me, it feels quite clunky, this mouse composition. Like, I think you're going to need to engage with Just Man. You're going to engage with the Gauntlet. Leon has to be then immediately ready to follow up on that engage by sticking to Hundor, because Hundor is going to overdrive his jump jets. He's going to look to get out of the Gauntlet as quickly as he physically can, and then Leon's going to want to stick to him and then deal damage afterwards. That's a big amount of damage onto Leon.
Yeah, Leon has to run away from that. Does manage to get himself to safety in the end, but Dark Potato already putting the damage down. And Mousesports need to be wary of this G2 combo because they have a lot of damage if they can get that stun from Keanu to land.
Yeah, and actually, Mouse managed to clean the backs up as well, so this is a really good position from Mousesports. They capitalized on Leon just burning boots and his healing flask, and they get away a huge amount of resources from Dark Potato, who is at 9 CS, by the way, and I'm the Doom is at 24. So I'm the Doom is almost over triple the CS now, almost, of Dark Potato, which is a massive advantage to have if you're in the jungle. Dark Potato has thoroughly been stuck in this early game, hasn't got an Elder Treant to his name. He's lost his back camps now to I'm the Doom as well. First Elder Treant is going to go over to Dark Potato here. I'm the Doom looks like he wants to try and combat this, though. He has got a level advantage. The on-point has missed.
It just wants that healing camp as well. You know, Keanu's trying to get a flank off here. Hundor can come down from the lane as well, and Dark Potato will get the healers for himself. Keanu needs to try and get away because the Winter Spire has connected. Under Doom there, chasing in. There come the Porcupine Mortars from Hundor, but eventually Keanu will fall in between the turrets. Under Doom, no fear at all, just chasing here into G2, and Dark Potato needs to be so cautious. Riding this off, has been able to take his backs for himself. The healer just spawned. Serendipitously for Dark Potato, just a little bit after I'm the Doom and Just Man had to leave the jungle.
Yeah, but this is an aggressive early game from the Rhyme. He knows that he can get into Blackfeather's jungle in the early stages of the game. Look to out-duel him. Hundor, he takes a lot of damage from Leon, who's going to back off. Actually,
that's exactly what he's going to do. He backed off.
Yeah, Just Man races to save him as well, though.
Indeed. Dark Potato's got his Eclipse Prism started off. Hundor looks like he's backing to build up his first completed item. It will be the Solar Blade, as expected, on that Baron. And the question becomes now, with basically a 1,500 gold lead, can Mouse actually translate this into anything monumental? Can they snowball this game away, or will they just continually just try and take away camps and then perhaps look to the gold mine? Do they need kills to win this game, or can they just sit in the jungle of G2 and starve them out?
I think when you're playing a later game scaling composition with the likes of a Baron, CP Blackfeather, who scales pretty well as well, it's all very well to try and turn, you know, your early invades and resource starvation and just say, hey, we're denying them farm, but you need to turn it into something tangible, like you were saying. Like, you need to turn this into a tangible lead. And I think from this point, you need to take the advantage of the fact that I'm the Doom is ahead in item spikes. They need to force fights by going for a siege on the first tier turret. They need to look to force the first gold mine when it stacks up to near full. You know, that's the kind of way you want to bring a later game scaling composition into making decisions, because you can outscale them by just having more gold. You know, a later game scaling composition, if you're on even terms, will scale with you. But if you move where the scale is by just having more gold than them, obviously you're going to be in a great position. So that's what I want to see Mousesports do, with Dark Potato is forced away again, going for the Crystal Sentry. This is the kind of moves that I wanted to see Mousesports make.
Very good takeaway there by On the Doom. Secures the Crystal Sentry. Dark Potato has to pop his healing flask as he meets a Winter Spire. It might be autumn in the real world, but Dark Potato is feeling pretty chilly as Winter keeps connecting. Does manage to get one of his backs. Leon's actually caught out a little bit here as he jumps onto Hundor, who jumps away with a jump jet, but eventually he's just dead. And Leon kills him basically in a 1v1.
Yeah, use that exact combo that we were talking about, by the way. The ability to just pop his ultimate onto the Baron when he uses the jump jets. Sticks to him, Baron lands, you come out, you deal the damage, and then you finish him off. So that was exactly what the Atlas does. We mentioned earlier, that ability for Weapon Power Idris to stick to that Baron, and a really good start by Mousesports here, up to an almost 3,000 gold lead. Gold Miner is stacking up. I want to see them try and force it. I want to see them bring G2 into a fighting scenario, especially now that Just Man has the Gauntlet. He can look to capitalize on that. Dark Potato is not yet level 8. He's got about 3/4 of a level to go. So there's a massive, sort of, I guess about a minute to 45 seconds where they can say, okay, let's start the gold mine. Let's force this. They either respond and we can force a team fight, or we just straight up take a huge global gold advantage again.
And the issue, I think, actually for Mousesports is, as much as they can get these big advantages, if they're not taking objectives, their siege under turrets is absolutely awful. Like, you've got two basically melee champions, that heroes that are just trying to push and siege against a Baron who can clear waves pretty effectively, and then on point CP on point from Blackfeather. It becomes really hard to actually siege under turrets. So as you say, they need to force these bigger objectives and actually pull G2 away from the lane to be able to win the fights.
I'm going to catch here, Kiana Nakoa.
What was that, sorry?
I tried to say Kiana Nakoa and I said it too quickly and it came out with, I don't know what it came out like, but I just hoped that you would have
definitely a word.
I just hoped that you wouldn't pull it up, but you did, so don't worry.
Kiana Nakoa is going to get the blast hammer down onto 3 members. Hundo trying to put the damage in from the side. There's the fountain as well. Underdoom caught out a little bit, but great Valkyrie will get the kill. And now G2 are a man down as they look for the fight against Leon. A fountain in response as Dark Potato now needs to run away, uses the healing flask of his own. Hundo jumps towards the side. The Ion Cannon, the kill straight onto I Am the Doom. The gauntlet placed eventually, but Mousesports is a little bit too late to save their jungler.
Yeah, they again, like you said, they went for a very aggressive fight under the turret. I think they were under appreciating the damage output of a level 8 Blackfeather when he's got that Shattered Glass on board. And again, allowing G2 just a little bit of space here. Hundor's now at 2 items. And something that I've always been thoroughly impressed for by Hundor is, even despite his team being under the thumb a little bit, you know, they've been suffering at the hands of Mousesports in this early game, he still manages to secure tier 3 items pretty quickly, and he's working towards his Tyrant's Monocle now, pre-9 minutes. It's not a bad place for the Baron to be in. I actually think, you know, Mousesports, that gold mine is looking pretty juicy. You know, you have the ability to fight in close quarters. You draw G2 in there. Obviously, there's always the risk of a steal from a CP on point. Like you said, that's one of the highest damage pokes in the game. So always the potential for that to get stolen, as well as the burst damage from Baron. Maybe that's why they're avoiding it. But they do eliminate the sentry in the meantime.
They do. It's all I'm the Doom at the moment. 61 farm on him. 20 more than Dark Potato. Almost caught up with Hundo as well. He's only sitting on 87 himself. Leon doing a good job of farming up in the lane with that poison chip, but it's going to get stunned, and Hundo gets a double shot in. Dark Potato jumps all the way into the backline as well. Heal used by Leon there. I think it was actually the fountain coming out from Just Man, and now I'm the Doom has the flank. Keanu has to use a fountain of his own. Here come the Porcupine Mortar straight on towards the face of the Rhyme. But are you feeling the rhythm? Dark Potato definitely is, with a great on point to secure the kill onto Leon. And now G2 come back into this game, only 2,000 gold behind. They can look to push, they can look to poke, and they can look to take down the first turret of the game.
Got a huge amount of damage onto that turret as well. They're going to take it very quickly here, and nothing that Just Man can do to defend against it. And suddenly G2, as per usual, find their way back in some way, shape or form. They hit the item spikes that they needed to. They played around those item spikes incredibly well. And you feel that for all of that good that Mousesports has done, you know, they haven't done much with that lead. They kind of just went in, again, starved resources from the enemy team, but they didn't do anything tangible with it. They didn't convert it into a team fight. They didn't use their item spikes that they had before G2 had hit their own. And now they have really diminished that gold lead that they had to just over 2,000. It was on that 4,000 mark. It's almost been halved by G2 here. One bastion, though, Medic, is that the Crystal Sentry is eliminated. And when you're playing a late game scaling composition, often a bastion of safety is that area in your own jungle that the Crystal Sentry protects. They haven't got that anymore. Gold Miner has now been started.
There's the gauntlet as well. Keanu will be caught out a little bit, but I'm the Doom takes some damage. Here's the Iron Cannon. 100 chased in with the Shimmer Strike by Leon, but he can't quite get enough damage down onto the Baron to kill him. The Valkyrie falls as well from G2. The Gold Miner still there. And the Doom and Justman will have to kite this one back out a little bit if they want to keep it up. Dark Potatoes jumped onto Leon in the lane. Leon turns it back around and puts the damage down on towards Dark Potato. Immense gold payout for Mouse as they continue the aggression. Hundo's so low. The Chakram not quite able to secure that kill, and G2 do just have to retreat for the time being. They need to be cautious because Mousesports are looking for their first turret of the game as well. Leon pushes forward. Keanu there. Hasn't got the Blast Tremor, has got the Merciless Pursuit, of course, but that will be the turret falling. It'll be a 4,000 gold lead for Mouse.
Oh, and Dark Potato just survives there on point and didn't quite go down to the Chakram, but goodness me, a very aggressive move. And I think that's what I would have said that's what Mousesports needed to do earlier. You saw how effective it was by drawing G2 into an enclosed space where you're going to get maximum effectiveness out of your Rhyme. You're going to allow Leon the route in onto Hundor a little bit more effectively. You can set up the engage with those gauntlets more nicely. You saw how effective it was just there. That would have been effective as well also maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago. So You know, if they keep up that pressure, this is a winning route for the Mousesports roster. Hondor did pick up a bit of armor, though. He picked up light armor against Leon just to sort of respect that damage output. He's gone Tension Bow, he's gone Poison Shiv, he's gone Sorrow Blade. Pretty much the bog standard, old school, pre-Tension Bow nerf build as Dark Potato gets engaged on.
He does underneath the turret. There's the Iron Cannon, though, and that's going to do a lot of work to Leon and to Justman. Leon goes in. They've already got the kill. Leon almost falls, does just manage to keep himself alive with that fountain coming out from Justman. Now it's up to Dark Potato and Keanu to try and defend. Such a monumental lead. The Blast Tremor doesn't really do much there either, and Leon's going to jump straight back in. Almost kills off Dark Potato, but can't quite do it. Still, Mousesports able to start taking these fights, start taking the wins that they need. And they are seeming to shut down G2's aggression.
Yeah, Hondor just absolutely obliterated, and the Doom has done. I love this on Rhymes. It's something that I will praise until the end of time. Very early investment into mobility against a ranged and mobile team. You need to be able to keep up with your prey if they are a ranged and mobile carry like Baron. Obviously, you know, moderately slow otherwise, but those jump jets makes him quite slippery. So having those journey boots in tow will allow Rhyme to seek the opportunities to follow Baron up, follow Leon up, and look for those killing blows, or even just placing a Valkyrie in range. Really important to have those in tow. Also, Justman's prioritization as a third item, War Treads, does the same thing. Heavy investment into mobility here for Mousesports. Super important, really sensible decision on my end. And Leon as well, playing an incredible Idris this game, really putting pressure onto Hondor, who has gone to coat of plates. Massive investment into defense for Hondor.
He needs it, though, because he keeps getting jumped on by Leon. You know, Leon's doing so much work with that Poison Shiv, with the Sorrow Blade, with the Tension Bow. He just absolutely melts through these G2 members, and there's another gold miner taken by Mouse. We said we wanted to see them take these objectives. That's exactly what they're doing. They just need to be able to utilize this gold lead, because at the moment they have only taken one turret. Leon's going to jump forward towards Dark Potato, who rose offensives away from the fight. The Winter Spire comes out. If we get to late game, if we get to 6 items on these carries, you have to think that G2 have a slight advantage with the range that they do have coming out from Dark Potato and from Hondor. That Unpoint and the Porcupine Mortars from Hondor can do so much work before Mouse can even engage the fight.
Yeah, Keanu as well, just getting these stuns off. Looking for Leon going in, Nesta.
Straight onto Hondor. They're trying to jump straight onto that backline. Dark Potato dodging around as much as he can. Hondor's still alive, but already Dark Potato's dead, and Leon just doing so much work in this front line. He's basically the tank for his team because he distracts all of G2. Now they need to look for this turret as well. Mouse get themselves to safety. They've taken down one man, and instead of going for the turret, they're going to go for that treant and then turn their eyes back towards the objective.
Yeah, Hondor very afraid to move in. No massive engage from Mousesports, but Leon does go in.
He does, looking for the engage. Keanu there as well, the jump back. Hondor trying to do what he can, but he's right in the midst of all 3 members of Mouse, and they collapse incredibly well. Another kill for Mousesports, 6 kills to 2 up, a 7,000 gold lead as well. They just need to get away from Keanu and Dark Potato here. And if they can get to safety, they are in such a strong position to look towards the Kraken next.
Absolutely. Leon going to back off. I mean, I love the decisiveness of Mousesports with this roster. You know, they're able to just pull the trigger. Everybody looks like they're on the same page this game. There is no discordance between the way they want to play these team fights. You know, they jump in, immediately pressure Hondor. And because Dark Potato, I don't think he's felt like he has been threatened these fights. Hasn't gone for any armor. So Leon, he jumps onto Hondor, backs Hondor out of the fight, and then turns onto Dark Potato, who absolutely gets shredded, especially once he's used both roads offensives. Just gets shredded by Leon because there is no armor investment for Dark Potato, so he just goes down in an instant to this build from Leon with the buff Tension Bow. And now with Kraken up, it looks like Mousesports are trying to bait this one and bring G2 into fighting again. It's a good move from them.
You need to be cautious, of course, if G2 can get an advantageous fight, they can still win out these trades. You've got a Broken Myth and Shatterglass finished on Dark Potato. You've got Tension Bow, Tyrants, and Sorrow Blade on Hondor. They are pretty darn big if they can get the fight properly. Leon has to use the block with the second stun through the Echo. There's Leon with the Shimmer Strike onto Hondor. The Iron Can comes out, and still Leon manages to get away, even through that Blast Tremor. He jumps back in, looking for Hondor. The Fountain comes out. Leon, there's the kill. Actually gets the kill. Just, man, doing absolute work on this Arden. And they will be able to clean up the 8 at the end as well. G2 falling to the wind, and Mouse showing exactly why they are going to go through to the finals against SK Gaming.
Not quite yet, but it definitely feels
They're
like
going to
it's
do
going
it
to be the
soon.
case.
I can sense it, Scoundrel. Unless there's a miracle crack and steal, this game is as good as done.
Yeah, and Hundor really needs that last Tyrant's Monocle to start hitting as hard as the Baron can in the late game. It was so well timed, the gauntlet into the chakram. Actually, I've been so impressed with Justman's art in this game. He hasn't even got so he has got the Echo as well, so he's got the double gauntlet. So even if Baron jumps out of one of them, you have the second to follow up. It's one of the really easy ways to shut down Baron and lock him into the arena, because he doesn't, like he said, he needs 4 damage items. Realistically, you can't really play 3 damage item Baron. He's been forced to go armor to deal with Leon's aggression. The tension bow build means he can't have a reflex block. So the double gauntlet is guaranteed to lock him in. And Catherine, without a crucible, means that she's unable to get him out either. So G2 in a really tricky position here. Leon's found another opportunity.
Engage onto Hundor, Shimmer Strike onto Dark Potato. They get the Valkyrie off as well. They're just looking like, yo, look how far away Keanu is. He's just like, guys, please let me catch up. But he just can't do enough. The Iron Cannon comes out. It's not really going to do that much work onto Mouse. Now Mouse can push forward with this crack, and they want this first turret. It's going to fall in a matter of seconds. It's gone. They're looking for the second and for the game as well if they can take it. Gauntlet comes down from Justman. That will be the second turret, and this will be the Crystal. This will be Mousesports going through to the finals up against SK Gaming.
Well, Mousesports needed revitalization after the departure of Tricky. Leon said he moved to the team because he didn't think he could win with his previous team. It certainly looks like he can win with this one. An incredible upset over G2. Well, not even an upset. We knew this team was going to be good, but in terms of standings, this really hits G2 hard. That last fight was brilliant, by the way. They forced Hundor back. He then got hit by the Valkyrie, zoned out from the Mounted by a Windfire, and was finished off, allowing them to secure the game off the back of that engage. A decisive, heavy, mobility-focused engage from Mousesports. I love their itemization. I love the way they played the fights. They deserve to face SK in the finals, and I think it's going to be a really good series.
Yeah, great stuff by Mousesports to take the 2-1 victory over G2. We're going to hand it back across towards Munch and our analysts to break that down and to lead us in